And welcome to the Go Time Podcast here on the LSU YouTube channel of the Voice of College Football Network. Uh, I'm sorry to interrupt your July the 4th festivities. Of course, I am a loser doing absolutely nothing but dropping you the news on the latest on LSU football, among other sports as well. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry you enjoy your hot dog. I'm sorry you enjoy your potato salad. Please don't put the raisins in the potato salad. Just let you know that. Unnecessary. I'm sorry. I'm ruining your little sip of beer. I am very, very sorry. But I do have some breaking news for you. It's really been going around the day. I think it's already been out and about. But I wanted to wait until, the day was kind of settled before I dropped this video because I didn't want to drop multiple videos. Because I knew there was going to be multiple commitments. So I wanted to make sure the smoke had died down. And of course, the smoke has died down, but there was a large amount of smoke. 4-star offensive lineman Bryson Culie from the state of Mississippi and 3-star safety Isaiah Washington, who is from the state of Louisiana at Haynesville High School specifically. They have both committed to LSU. Two big time commitments for LSU. Of course, there's LSU had multiple guys that they're on the lookouts for. Right, Braden Fogel, a 4-star tight end. He was making his commitment today, but he picked Georgia. You also had Booby Feaster commit today, and of course LSU was among his top schools, but he decided to pick USC. But that's not too big of an issue, just because LSU already has 3 wide receivers that are currently committed to LSU, and they're not really looking for another receiver. Now they might land one more receiver, but after that 4th receiver, that's it, right? I mean, that's just, you don't want to have too many wide receivers on your roster, right? And of course, you also have the transfer portal as well. So those are some of the other guys who also Xavier McDonald, who made a shocking commitment to Sacramento State. And Sacramento State, they're throwing their money around. I know that a lot of people are like, "Wow, Sacramento State," and you start looking into it, you're like, "Oh yeah, NIL." There's a lot of money. Donors are putting money into the football program. They're actually going to join the FBS next year. So and really, you're going to see that a lot from not only school. Of course, you're seeing that in Texas. You saw Texas Tech got a player to sign a $5.1 million guaranteed contract to commit to Texas Tech. And you're going to be seeing that a lot with the Texas schools, not only with Texas and Texas A&M, but remember, Texas Tech has a lot of money. Houston has a lot of money. SMU, TCU, they have money as well. Those Texas schools have a lot of money, more than you actually think. And you're going to see the same thing with California, too. I think California is going to take advantage of the fact that they have a lot of money, too. I mean, California and Texas are 2 of the wealthiest states in the union. As a matter of fact, if those 2 states decided to break up from the United States, they would thrive just fine as countries. So you have to remember, like, just because they're not in the South, besides Texas, like California is a perfect example. Like, California has a lot of money, and I think people forget that sometimes. But anyway, going back to LSU, right? Isaiah Washington and Bryson Culie both committed to LSU today. And first, let's start off with Isaiah Washington, because he's an in-state guy, and this is a LSU show, and I think we all want to know about our in-state guys. Isaiah Washington, of course, is a 3-star athlete. He would be playing safety when he gets to LSU. He actually plays both quarterback and safety at Haynesville. Haynesville runs the wing T, I believe, and I think it's something along those lines. So he's the quarterback. And not only that, he also starts as safety as well. He will be a 4-year starter for the Gordon Tornado. And for a lot of you guys who don't know this, but Haynesville High School is one of the most successful programs in the state of Louisiana. Haynesville is actually the winningest program in Louisiana history. It's not John Curtis, it's not Jesuit, it's not Edna Carr, it's not West Monroe. It's not Catholic High Baton Rouge. It is Haynesville High School, small town right on the border of Louisiana and Arkansas. And so, I mean, and the thing is, and yes, they are a 1A school. For people who wonder, well, Haynesville's a small school. Like, you know, why are we taking them? Is he going to be any good? And I will say this, right? 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, doesn't matter. What matters is, can you play? That's what matters, right? Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and Arch Manning all went to Newman. Newman's a 2A school. And guess what? There's like Peyton Manning's in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning had a successful college and professional career. And Arch Manning has a chance to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I'm not going to glaze him and say he's the best quarterback in SC in the country, like Paul Feinbaum, because he still has to play the games. But he has a chance to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football. But Haynesville, yes, it is a 1A school, but it is a very accomplished program. They have a lot of standards. And, of course, LSU has a lot of standards. So, just because, a kid may go to a 1A school, that doesn't mean that 1A school, they don't have players or, what matters is, can you play at the next level? And Isaiah Washington's a big kid. He's 6'3", 180. He's a big kid. So, he has the speed and the physicality to play at the next level. He's the agility. I mean, you're seeing that here. I mean, he's not afraid to be physical. He's a ferocious runner, and of course you're going to see it. And transfers over to the defensive side of the ball. I know you've seen a lot of offensive highlights, but he plays both quarterback and safety for Haynesville. But if you're wondering if he can handle the expectations of LSU, I mean, he's handled the expectations of Haynesville pretty well, right? He's been the best player the last 2-3 years for Haynesville, and has definitely been the best player for his sophomore and junior year at Haynesville, and he's helped lead the Golden Tornado to 2 straight state title appearances in New Orleans at the Dome. And I think this year, I know he lost both appearances, but this year they have a great shot of winning their first state championship in a little over 10 years. And Isaiah Walsh is a huge part of that. And Isaiah Walsh is a late bloomer, right? He didn't get an offer from LSU until very late in the process. Originally was because I think Arkansas offered him first, then it was LSU. He got offers from Tulane, Louisiana Tech, and Baylor, and then he got an offer from LSU, if I remember correctly. But so he was a little bit late. He was kind of a little bit, he had a little bit of a late bloom in terms of the recruiting cycle. And LSU was actually last to offer him. It was, so it went Louisiana Tech, Houston, Louisiana Tech, Tulane, Arkansas, Texas Tech, Baylor, and then he got the offer from LSU. And, once he got the offer from LSU, it was kind of clear that LSU was probably going to gain his commitment, right? He's a North Louisiana guy. A lot of North Louisiana guys love LSU, believe it or not. I know a lot of people think La Tech, but there's a lot of people that support LSU up in North Louisiana. And Isaiah Washington, it was not a shocker that once he got those offers from Texas Tech, Baylor, and Arkansas, LSU was like, oh, we got to offer this kid. Because they were interested in him. But they knew they had to make that offer quick because they didn't want him to wait too late to make an offer. And they were able to gain his commitment. And great athlete. Also is a state champion, the 100-meter hurdles and the long jump at Haynesville. He won the Class 1A state championship in both events. And I believe he also finished in the top 12 at every single event that he participated in. So, he's a big-time athlete, not only in the football field, but also as a track athlete. So, big-time picker for LSU. Even though it's a 3-star recruit, I'll take a 3-star recruit from Louisiana any day. Those are the guys who want to play for LSU more than anything else. And he is a rising prospect. So, I mean, you don't, like, Arkansas, Texas Tech those two programs have not been playing around recruiting lately because they're throwing money around. But the next guy we're going to talk about is Bryson Culie. That's the other commitment for LSU. 6'5", probably 6'7", 315. Probably gonna say 6'7", 315. He is the third commitment from the state of Mississippi after Tristan Keys, of course, the number one receiver in the country, and then also four-star offensive tackle Emmanuel Tucker. With his commitment, Bryson Culie has become the 14th member of the class of 2027. 2026. I'm sorry, 2026. For LSU. It's another big time commitment for four-star recruit out of the state of Mississippi, and it is really hard to get guys out of the state of Mississippi. It really is. Just because a lot of times guys from Mississippi, a lot of times they stay home. They don't really like to leave the state, but if they do, it's going to be a toss-up, right? Sometimes they might come into Ole Miss. They might be leaning Ole Miss. They might be leaning Alabama. They might be leaning Auburn or Tennessee or LSU. And, there's you don't really know what to expect with these guys from Mississippi. And, for example, Tristan Keys, that's a guy that a lot of LSU analysts like myself and fans have been kind of worried about because he is from Mississippi. And Mississippi guys, they're not, they're kind of 50-50 all the time. They're never really set in stone. If you, for example, Jarrell McCoy committed to LSU last fall, and then by late January, early February, he decommitted. Now he's committed to Florida. So it's hard to know what these guys from the state of Mississippi are thinking, because a lot of times either those guys want to stay home, or B, they're not afraid to go as far away from home as possible. But LSU now has 14 commitments after Bryson Culie's commitment to LSU. Right now, according to 24/7, LSU has the 10th best class for the class of 2026. They're originally 13th. But since the two commitments today, they have moved up to number 10. So they have a top 10 class for 24/7. And then for rivals / on 3, LSU is 6th. Currently right now, they both have LSU signed its 2-star, 2-5. For both sides, LSU currently has 2 5-stars, but some of them are different. For example, on rivals and on 3, Richard Anderson is a 5-star. 24/7 has him as a high-end 4-star. So really, if you just combine both sides, LSU now has 3 5-star commitments for the class of 2026. But Bryson Culie, once again, 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", 215 pounds. He's a big boy. He's a big boy from Mississippi. 24/7 has a 3-star. The composite has him as a 4-star, so he's a 3-star, 4-star type of guy. And LSU has had a lot of success getting guys to commit from the same Mississippi. As I mentioned, Tristan Keys and Emmanuel Tucker have both committed to LSU from the state of Mississippi. And you can see a lot more success with them as well. But that's a running back. But Bryson Culie is an offensive tackle. You're going to see him in his highlights in a second. I missed where they had the pointer. So he's right here. So that's him right there. And he's a very physical lineman. He's he has great feet, by the way. His feet never stop moving. I've watched some plays in the past. Watch all of his highlight tapes. His feet never stop moving. They just don't. If you notice, if you watch any of his film, I know this kind of slow motion right now. Some of our slow motion, some are kind of going full speed. But his feet never stop moving. He's got great feet. They never stop moving. He's got a high motor. He's a big boy. He's going to overpower you. He's country, man. He's country, and that's something you need. You need big slobber knockers on the offensive line who are, who are ready to go to war and put somebody on the dirt. And I like how it says "wait for it" right here. I guess he pancaked him. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, LSU, was able to get another big time commitment from the state of Mississippi, and really a large credit has to go to a lot of credit has to go to, uh, of course, Louisiana for of course, the coaching staff for make sure to get as many kids from Louisiana as possible, right? And going to different pockets of the state to find talent. You saw that with Desarian Ellis, who was an athlete, who was an all-state quarterback for Franklin Parish, but was getting recruited as a cornerback by Corey Raymond to come to LSU. He's already committed, and of course, you got a commitment from Isaiah Washington, right? Three-star safety from Haynesville. And by the way, Haynesville, I forgot, I don't think I mentioned this earlier. Haynesville doesn't really produce a lot of big-time guys, too, right? And as successful as that program has been, they don't really have a whole lot of, blue-chip recruits. So the fact that they're able to get a guy who's committed to LSU says a lot. That just shows you how special people see him as. They see him as a very special player because Haynesville doesn't really get that many guys that go on to play at the next level. It just doesn't. You don't really see that. Haynesville has more great teams, state championship winning teams, than they have individual great players who are going on to play college football. So the fact that he's getting rated as high, LSU, Arkansas, Baylor, Texas Tech are all after him, and he committed LSU before more and more schools were going to go after him. That says a lot about Isaiah Washington. But also how much LSU is willing to go to every single pocket of the state to find talent. That's what you need to do because there's a lot of talent in the state, and a lot of times it gets unnoticed. As talented as the state is, there's still talent that still doesn't get noticed, which is absolutely insane. But also for Bryson Culie, a lot of credit has to go to Brad Davis. Brad Davis has done a phenomenal job recruiting the offensive line position. He's done an excellent job, and yes, I know that the offensive line doesn't improve this year. Some of it on Brad Davis, yes, but some of it on the scheme, yes. There's a lot of reasons why the offensive line struggled last year, but you cannot deny Brad Davis's recruiting efforts in his 4 or 5 years at LSU. He's been here since 2021, so 21, 22, 23, 24. This will be his 5th year, and he's done an excellent job at finding and developing talent on the offensive line, a position that LSU really lacked in the last 2 years of Ed Orgeron's tenure here as the head coach at LSU, and also kind of early on in the Brian Kelly era, where they had offensive line struggles. Matter of fact, believe it or not, Emory Jones, as much as he has started since his freshman year, but remember they put Cam Wire there right tackle, and they didn't move Emory Jones to right tackle. I believe it was either Southern or Mississippi State due to necessity, and of course he balled out. So LSU's a far cry from what it used to be on the offensive line. The offensive line is a much more improved position on LSU's team. However, yeah, of course, it still needs work. You're replacing 4 of your 5 stars from the year before. But at the same time, you also feel comfortable with the guys that Brad Davis is bringing in. It's all just a matter of can they come together. That's really all that matters. But, huge shout out has to go to Brad Davis for the recruiting efforts he's put in. But anyway, that's going to wrap up today's show. I'm sorry I ruined your 4th of July weekend, but I'm pretty sure you guys appreciate the recruiting news, hopefully. If you have any complaints, leave it in the comment section, because I'm sorry I took away your time from sipping a little beer on Independence Day here in America, USA. But you guys have a great rest of your 4th of July. I'm not doing anything. I don't have to do anything for the rest of the day, because, of course, this recruiting news that spoke around the LSU's recruiting circles today have officially gone away. So I'm really excited to do absolutely nothing. I'm chilling for Independence Day today. So you guys have a great rest of your July. July 4th. Have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you guys later. Go Tigers! And it's a great day to be American.